Welcome to VSB News Online for Wednesday, June the 3rd. I'm Charles Webb. Renowned South African solo sailor and international speaker Neil Peterson has decided to cut short his planned speaking engagements at Bermuda schools after encountering immigration problems. By the time the misunderstanding had been sorted out, he had made arrangements to visit other communities, but he's not giving up on his adopted island.
You came here with an anticipation of doing some major work with our children and sailing, and because of immigration pressures, you had to kind of cut it short and will be departing before you plan to. Any hope of you coming back, giving us a second chance?
Well, I have had this incredible relationship with Bermuda for 21 years. I've made over 35 trips to Bermuda in all of these decades, backwards and forwards, several times a year, coming in. And we have worked with all the public schools in the previous years, some of the private schools. We've spoken in all the prisons. And so Bermuda is near and dear to my heart. And when you've been part of a community, for as long as I've been part of a community, you want to see the best. You want to see, I've watched some of these youth grow up and they become friends. I've seen them go off to college. I've had interactions with them beyond the shores of Bermuda, not just on the shores of Bermuda. Ralph Richardson has been to my home in Charleston, South Carolina. Ralph has sailed from Bermuda to Newport with me. So our heritage, our history, our ties to the country is extremely strong. And we have the biggest social life of all the countries I have homes in or I've spent time in. I don't have a social life like I have here in Bermuda. So I feel very strongly about giving back and committing to this community. 3 times I've spoken at the Bermuda Underwater Explorers Institute, and again, what an incredible organization. We've worked with Bermuda Sloop Foundation and I was involved in early fundraising, and I want to remain in helping with the fundraising because it's a cause I really believe in, because I believe in youth. And Bermuda being 22 square miles and a population of 69,000 people, this is such an incredible tight community. And yeah, this community can show the rest of the world how things can be done.
We need all the help we can get.
Yes. So unfortunately, when we end up with some of this mess and confusion with immigration, there are so many other islands and countries who are pulling on me and saying, come and do this in our country. And I had hoped to have spent all the way through October, left my boat and commuted to my business in the States and would come back on a regular basis. But then when it was uncertain that I would be able to continue working with the youth, other islands, Grenada, St. Martin, Puerto Rico have grabbed that time. So we will unfortunately now sail away, and I hope I will return for the Bermuda TEDx. We actually are in conversation with them because, again, that's another incredible platform that Bermuda has to show the intellectual capabilities. 1,000 people. It is the largest TEDx that happens in the TEDx world. So to have 1,000 Bermudians come and attend and to be able to talk about global issues and Bermuda issues, what a wonderful platform. I want to stay part of this. This is a part of my extended family. So yes, we will find other ways to engage with the island and be back. Unfortunately, my boat will now have to travel.
Bermuda Peace Concert organizer Tony Brennan announced that due to lack of sponsorship, corporate mergers, and other factors, he has decided not to stage the popular annual event this year. He comments in an email to his supporters and local tourism officials that he was not sure enough people realized what had been created and what was designed to be offered on an annual basis. He said he personally had wanted to evolve it into a 3-day musical festival, and perhaps that could still happen in the future, but only if he gets the level of support that events like the Heroes Weekend have garnered. For over a century, they operated at the same Front Street location, and now Bermuda's oldest jewelers, Oswald Dickinson, have moved west to the Orbis building at 25 Front Street. Home of the 18-karat gold original Bermuda collection, the new premises, according to Summers Cooper, CEO of the A.S. Cooper Group and Managing Director Ian Smith, is uniquely designed for the future.
It's always a risk when moving an iconic store to a new location, but we had this opportunity to move the store to the western side of Front Street. We thought it would be a good move because it placed us not only right in front of the ferry terminal and all the visitors coming across on the ferries and the tenders, but also very close to the offices on Pitts Bay Road and the new Fairmont Hamilton Princess, which we felt was a good strategic move, and it enabled us to really present Aswa Dickinson in its modern format, as you can see around us, which is impressive.
We believed that we could create something in Bermuda, both with location, with product, and with a team of people that would operate at a level that would be seen anywhere in the world. And that's where we believe we've taken this new store to. We've worked very hard with certain vendors, and some new ones, to bring in products that we don't believe have been seen in Bermuda before, or certainly for a very, very long time.
Now that everyone has had an opportunity to comment on the new mammography guidelines, it is the turn of the health insurance companies, who, after all, will be paying for the screening. The good news is that the Argus Group, for one, has decided to continue the way it has been for a year to see how things turn out. Vice President of Group Insurance Michelle Jackson and Argus Chief Alison Hill spoke about the issue with Brian Darby.
I mean, it's a reality that no one likes insurance, right? I think no one likes paying insurance. However, everyone wants insurance to be there when they need it, and that's our philosophy. So the idea is, how do we live in a way that we don't need the insurance, and how do you promote health? And then you need to have your insurance there if you get sick. So along with all of the work that's being done, not just by the Health Council and the hospital and everyone else, Argus is really saying, look, you've got to take prevention seriously. See your doctor. Your doctor's the one to advise you around your mammogram or any other treatment that you might need. And that's the reality. We're here to support promotion of health.
But overuse of equipment, overuse of facilities is part of the expense problem, isn't it? And that's not necessarily controllable.
Well, I think everyone has a stake in trying to manage utilisation and bring down this kind of cost escalation. And, you know, as Michelle said, we work very closely with government and the Health Council and the rest of the industry. And actually, in relation to the preventative testing for mammograms, we recognise that any kind of change can be quite stressful and emotional for those involved, which is why at Argus we're continuing for a transition year, essentially. So we will continue to offer the same level of benefits. So at age 40, for annual tests, we'll continue to reimburse on that basis, just as we allow the new practices and policies to bed in. And we just want to take that stress of transition away from our clients.
And we'll be back with more news right after this.
The Marketplace Food Court is you and your family's one-stop shop. Start your day at the Breakfast Bar with omelets made to order and traditional Bermuda codfish breakfast. The chefs will cook lunch and dinner to your liking. Along with the salad bar, sandwich bar, sushi bar, and fruit bar, the Marketplace Food Court is your kitchen away from home. Every day is hassle-free with nutritious meals from the Marketplace Food Court. Visit us 7 days a week. Homemade cooking, quality service, all at prices you can count on.
The St. David's Islanders and Native community will be holding the Bermuda Powwow 2015 at St. David's Cricket Field on Saturday and Sunday, June 13th and 14th, in honor of their native Indian ancestors. And this year there will be the added enjoyment of the chant and drum performance of Bermudian Trey Trott, who has Pequot ancestry and has been studying the songs of native Indian tribes in Canada. Brian Darby spoke to him about his voyage of discovery.
About 10 years ago or so was when I first experienced my first power. You know, I've always seen the pictures and seen it on TV and the internet, but really, you know, getting to experience it firsthand, being submersed in the culture, that I guess you can say was the turning point that really drew me to the culture. You know, because I've always heard, you know, from my grandfather, you know, Trey, you know, you have native blood, you have this, that, and the other, right? But I never really took heed to it until actually going out and seeing it firsthand, and that's when a chord struck, so to speak, and that's when it really gripped me.
When people get their DNA in this world, apparently they come upon things that will amaze you, yes. But you don't have to be amazed, you know it's there.
Yes, most certainly. Like I said, you know, my grandfather, he's told me ever since I was young, you know, Trey, remember this, you know, this is where you come from, and even at his house, he can take me back. He has birth certificates, he has legal documents that says this, that, and the other. So it's credible stuff.
And it's got part of Bermuda's history in so many ways.
Most certainly, yes. It's deep rooted in Bermuda's history, as a matter of fact. All the way back to the beginning.
Do you think we should take more interest in it in Bermuda, considering where so many Bermudians come from?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, it's a part of the history, it's a part of the culture that Bermudians don't really acknowledge, and I don't know if it's because they're not aware of it, so to speak. But I definitely think that more effort should be put in towards the education of that particular part of Bermuda's history and culture.
Well, it's coming because the powwows are now becoming a regular annual thing, and you're bringing people from overseas, which will gladden most people's hearts. But there's a tremendous, family spirit when they hold these powwows. It's like nothing else. It's not like a family picnic. It's almost a coming together of a tribe.
Yes, it's a sense of connection, and that's one thing that is deep rooted within the Native communities all across, Indian country, all across United States and Canada. It's that sense of connectedness and close-knit family. You go to the powwows, different tribes, but you have hundreds and even thousands of individuals coming together, and that's the great part about it. Now, the thing I've noticed is there's a certain lack of bitterness. There's more of a lack of more of an instant of pride. Isn't that something we could learn from? Yes, most certainly. And that's a great question. It's a sense of pride that should be instilled by not just the Native communities, but by Bermudians as a whole, by everybody. It's a sense of pride and something that you would want to take and apply to your life moving forward. Yeah.
Tomorrow, Trey will talk about the music itself, which has been kept alive as oral history. The 4th annual Allied World Family Community Party takes place at the Victoria Park on Sunday, June the 7th from 12 noon to 10 p.m. under the auspices of the Center of Philanthropy. It is free to all, and all are welcome, in particular families that are interested in learning how local charities function and how they can get involved. Executive Director Elaine Butterfield explains.
The idea was actually a brainstorm of our chairman, Brian Medeiros, who felt that families benefited greatly from coming together and volunteering on behalf of charities to give back. What we're doing through the event is creating future philanthropists and giving families the opportunity to come out and join together for a fun afternoon while at the same time giving back to their community. There will be several charities there with different projects, and this can be a way to hold a fun afternoon. Janice will explain to you a bit more about exactly what's involved.
Right. But I'm just thinking about the reason why you've done it, and it's obviously been a success because you're doing it again.
Yes.
And Allied World obviously think it's a great thing to be part of. Sure. But your charity, your grouping, you're here to help other charities.
Yes.
And so I'm surprised in a little way that you're doing their job for them in this case.
The Center on Philanthropy's purpose is to serve nonprofits. We exist to serve nonprofits. What is actually going to happen on Sunday is charities are going to come with projects for families to volunteer to work on together. The projects will be opportunities for the charities to get things done that they might otherwise have to hire someone to do, or they would have to engage volunteers to get done. And so through our volunteer engagement program, we've invited charities to present projects that families will come along and contribute to.
You want the public to come in that spirit?
We want the public to come in the spirit of giving back, but not just giving back, having a great day, and learning about charities and learning about volunteering.
This is unique, isn't it?
It is the only event that I am aware of where people can come together and learn, families can come together and learn about charities and what it is that they do while giving back at the same time, while having a really fabulous time.
And now we turn to someone who needs no explanation, Earl Baisden at the sports desk.
Bermuda's national football team are putting the final touches on their preparations for the upcoming World Cup warm-up match against Puerto Rico, which will take place on Friday night at the National Sports Center with a 7:30 kickoff. Coach Andrew Bascom believes the players are in the right frame of mind to carry out what he is asking them to accomplish.
The focus primarily, of course, will be to get a result and play good, entertaining football, play organized, and learn from our previous experiences, especially the experience we had in Mexico. That approach to the game was tactically different. It was a lot more work on defensive organization. But of course, when you're playing at home, now the focus must shift. It's important that we attack, and our transition must be good, and we must be organized defensively, and don't take the opposition lightly.
On Sunday at the National Sports Center, the 2015 Hiscox Celebrity Under-11 cricket match will take place. Minister of Sport, Patricia Gordon-Pamplin, said she hates to lose.
Once these children come at us, I don't know what to say. I always pride myself on being not just athletic, but competitive. And I think that last year was a first-class lesson in how to be pulled down a couple of notches in terms of facing reality. We have some brilliant young people, and they show their skills. So certainly from a ministry perspective, we want to encourage as much as possible the development of our young people and their participation. So I'm looking forward to this weekend. And I'm going to say that as a competitor, I think that the seniors, the celebrities, are going to win this time.
Patrina Power Girl Painter had a message for the Under-11 cricket team.
You can jeer me all you want, but we are coming for you.
West Ham United yesterday announced a highly rated Bermudian Academy prospect, Jair Parfitt-Williams, has signed a professional contract at the club. The skillful forward has put pen to paper on a 2-year deal, keeping him at West Ham until June 2017. Speaking after committing his future to the Hammers, Parfitt-Williams, who was an under-18 top goal scorer this past season with 9 goals, said, quote, "Ever since I was young, I've always wanted to be a professional footballer, so it feels really good." He goes on to say, "It's nice to see my hard work recognized. I do a lot of extra training, and I'm always watching football. For my hard work to come out on the pitch is excellent." End quote. Cheyenne Smith was a member of the Montpellier decathlon elite team who competed at the Montpellier Athletic Association track meet in France. Smith won the 100-meter final in a time of 12:64. She qualified for the final after winning Heat 1, clocking a time of 12:52. Smith finished second in the high jump with a top leap of 1.51 meters. Rebecca Halliger broke the 50-meter freestyle national record during the Validus Bermuda Long Course National Championships at the National Sports Center over the weekend. She evaluated her performance at the competition.
I thought they were good for days. I'd like to have done better in my butterfly events and not messed up the end of my 50 back, but that's what you get for not practicing in the pool that much. But I was really happy with my 50 and I was surprised by my 100, so maybe I'll have to train more towards the 100 instead of focusing solely on the 50.
Were you surprised by the level of competition over the 4 days?
Yeah, I was really impressed by some of the kids who came back, the younger kids who train overseas, and like Maddie is amazing for her age, Emma is great, so I'm happy that the younger kids are getting so much better.
Now you, as you keep saying younger, you feel like a veteran of the pool nowadays?
Absolutely. I've been on Shark Swim Club for 14 years now. So some of the kids don't know my name. Some of the parents are asking me who I am in the marshalling area. And I'm like, well, I've been here for 14 years, so.
What's it like being over in California training and competing?
It's great. We have a really high level of competition over there. Being on the school team was amazing. Now I'm done, so I'm going to train with the pro team, with Julian, and we have some of the best swimmers in the U.S. and from all over the world on the pro team, so I'm really excited to train with them for a year.
While Levrock and Taryn Frey helped Newport Cricket Club's First 11 defeat Cardiff Cricket Club First 11 during their South Wales Premier Division 1 First 11 match. Cardiff won the toss and elected to bat. They scored 244 for 8 in their allotted 50 overs, with Levrock returning figures of 10 overs, 2 for 43. In reply, Newport scored 247 for 6 in 49.1 overs. Frey, batting at the number 3 spot, scored 21 runs from 41 deliveries, hitting 1-4, while Levrock scored 24 runs, not out, from 12 balls to see his team through to victory. Levrock hit 2 4s and 1 6 in his inning. The Bermuda Netball Association Summer League season continued with a doubleheader at Bernard Park last evening, where 92 goals were scored. Family handed Teachers their first loss of the Summer League season, edging them 25-22. Rose Sanders led Family to victory with 13 goals, while Nakia Webb chipped in with 12 goals. Kenlyn Smith scored 15 goals for the teachers, who also got 5 goals from Tanika White and 2 goals from Shonat Adams. BAC defeated the PHC Lady Zebras 29-15. Derica Woodley Simon scored 15 goals for BAC, while Nikita Trott added 8 goals and Exone Hunt scored 6 goals. Vernica Simon scored 9 goals for PHC Lady Zebras, with Jennifer Simmons adding 6 goals. I'm Earl Beeston reporting for VSB Sports.
Looking at the weather for Thursday, June the 4th, there will be a mix of sun and cloud. Winds will be southeasterly, light to moderate. We're expecting a high near 80 and a low near 72. This weather forecast is courtesy of the Bermuda Weather Service. Thank you for watching VSB News Online for Wednesday, June the 3rd. I'm Charles Webb.